If you're focused in life, you can do many things and you can move mountains. Good morning and thank you for joining us on today's life. Today, I have my beautiful sisters in the house that I'm always proud of. Jemima, Emmanuel, and then
Good
Prudence
morning.
Good
Burger.
morning.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Fine,
Doing
thank
great.
you.
Wow. Yeah, I can see. And whenever I'm around you guys, I there's this confidence, there's this confidence that surrounds me, and then I always say I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
We're blessed too.
Yeah, all right. So today viewer, just do well to connect with us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be discussing something very important, power of focus. That's why earlier I said if you're focused in life, you can move mountains, and there's no limit with what you can do. And that is the reason why today we want to see, look nitty gritty, and then discuss certain things that we feel we should know. And based on our own knowledge, our own understanding, we'll give our own contribution so that we'll see that we help someone out there, in order to be focused in whatever you are doing, just like the way we are focused on today's life. So, power of being focused. How important it is for someone to be focused in whatever choosing career, you know.
Focus. I think focus is really
That is focus, that's power.
yeah. I'm just going to stay on the focus for now.
Okay.
Okay, so focus is quite important. In fact, very important. I'm not sure how to quantify the importance of focus. You see, the thing is that the thing about focus is that for you to gain anything, you need to be focused. For you to be able to accomplish anything, you need focus. For you to make any form of impact, you need focus. For you to make a headway, you need focus. So I can go on. The list just
And for
goes
you
on.
to get a clear picture, you need
still need
focus.
focus.
The matter and the hassle.
You
we relate
understand
to
that
and
better.
the root then. And that's the reason why they are getting us clear,
Yeah, like this is all about focus. So you find the future of focus on the cameras because they want you to give they want to get the quality, the image of this person, let it come out with quality, and that's why you have to say no, focus the camera, make it stable, let it so that you can capture the effect.
Let's have a clear picture.
Yes, that's exactly what happens in life. That's what focus does to you. You get a clearer picture. You get a vivid guideline. You get a
Direction.
direction. So when you're focused, it helps you do away with a lot of things. See, for instance, you go to school, and what is your focus in school? To gain an education, to gain not just a degree, but then to be literate and to have knowledge of what you're pursuing. That's why you go to school. And if you keep your attention solely on these things, then at the end of the day, those who came to school for partying, or those who came to school for socializing, they would come your way, but they would not stay long, because that's not where your attention is. You're focused on this. I want to get that degree, and at the end, not just a degree, I also want to be educated, that my knowledge would be felt by someone out there. Then your attention is focused on it. So regardless what distraction, I'm not saying yes, distraction is the word, but regardless what comes your way, whether it is good or bad, so long as that thing is not in line with what you have placed your attention in doing, and you have focused your attention to, here I'm using the word focus again, directed, yes, let me use this is better. You've directed your attention towards it. This is what I've directed my attention towards, and that is focus. And because I've directed my attention towards this, I literally can't see other things. The other things just blow out. Everything else is just blurred. Okay, so even if it's fire, you probably just see the fire is just passing. it's interestingly, this morning I was just passing someone and person was greeting. I did not even notice. Later on I was like, oh, good morning, and person's like, okay, no, I greeted you. But because my attention was not focused on that person at the moment, he gave his greetings. I did not even notice that somebody greeted me. That's what focus does to you. So like even in the littlest things in life, you find focus. That's how powerful focus is. If you're not focused on something, you might fail to see it. Very key. If you're not focused on something, you just might fail to see the thing. And if you fail to see it, it might not even be of any impact to you because your attention is not on that stuff. Little wonder you find people saying, I kept on telling this person this thing and I kept on telling this person this thing, but the person is not doing anything about it because the person's focus and attention is not on what you're saying. So it doesn't matter to the person. But if you find that this person is attentive and focused on what is in front, what you're saying, the person will work on it, work with it. That's what focus is. Focus is about attention, direction. Focus is like a compass. It helps you it gives you the right path to follow.
And I feel that being focused is an intentional act. Like you have to decide within yourself to be focused, not when someone is forcing it on you, not when people are expecting focus from you, but you have to decide it. You know, sometimes when you see school children, primary school, secondary school, the parents want them to be focused in their education. They want them to read when they are playing. They say, you're playing, you're supposed to be reading. And you know, they are not, because they did not decide that they want to be focused, because they don't see the importance of being focused. But when you grow and you get to secondary school, to university, and you want to learn for yourself, you know, you decide within yourself that I want to be focused. And then whenever you go to school and you start, you know, you come out with flying colors. Why? Because you decided to be focused and you were focused in your mind. So focus is an intentional thing. It's a decision you make within yourself to be focused, and then you get focused. Then the power of focus, I feel, is the ability to put your mind to something and then achieve it. It can be a goal, it can be a task, whatever it is. Once you put your mind on it, you know, everything, your heart, your mind, your physical being, your mental being, whatever it is, you put your all in it and then you achieve it. You know, neglecting every other thing, distraction, multitasking, inconsistency, you're just bent on overcoming challenges. You're just bent on doing away with setbacks, anything that will pull you back. You're doing away with it. Why? Because there is this power, and that power comes with focus. You want to achieve it, and until you achieve it, then you go, thank God, you know, because you have done that which you wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree with this, and it's just like an athlete. This athlete trains for a whole year or more than, depends on how long. Okay, they said this competition is coming. Even if before they say this competition, this athlete is already training.
Yes.
And then you find this athlete able to come to this competition. I've arrived at the competition. He still keeps training. It is at that moment where he has crossed the finish line that you find the athlete saying, I can take a break for a minute.
That's
and
when
he goes back
down,
to the next.
when he starts snapping.
Yes,
pictures.
and yes, exactly. And when he's
All
done
the
with all those
victories.
victory pictures, all the flags flying and all that, you find this athlete resting or sleeping or something, just finding a place to rest, and immediately after that, he's focused on the next competition. And the circle continues. And then if you find that this athlete continues to grow and grow and grow. One Nigerian athlete, one representing Nigeria, said she had to keep training regardless what comes her way, whatever discouragement the people are bringing at her. Oh no, the country doesn't really matter to the country what you're doing. But she still no, I'll still go ahead and do what I want to do because this is what I want to do for my country. and she's making waves and getting a lot of name for the country out there because she's focused on what she wants to do. It's not like there's no discouragement. There would be, but you see, the thing about the power of focus is that discouragements don't matter then. When you put your attention and you focus your attention on the path that you want to take. Now we're talking about the power of focus. So you have put your attention, you have put your focus on the path that you want to take. Then regardless what somebody else is telling you, it doesn't really matter. It's just, that's your opinion. You find somebody saying something like, well, what he says or what she thinks doesn't really matter to me. What I know is that I'm going to do this, and at the end of the day I would have to accomplish what I've set my mind to do. That's focus. This person is keeping his... And interestingly, there's something about focus. You need to also be flexible when you're focused, which is contradictory when I say it like that. But if you're focused and you want to do something, you need to be flexible enough to better yourself to accomplish that mission. Because if you're not open to listening to advice that would help you focus more, then you would have a problem ahead of you. Instead of going and accomplishing it or going over this hurdle, you'll find that some slight things might just make you derail from the path that you want to. It's how it is. As much as the athlete trains for this competition, this athlete trains within the boundaries of the rules of the game. Because the moment he goes out of the rules of the game, he loses focus.
And I feel listening to advice from people that you think are ahead of you, not just advice anyhow, because some would want to advise you in a way that will make you lose your focus. So listening to advice from people that are ahead of you.
And even I agree with what you said. Even looking at people that are ahead of you, there are people that you need to be careful, because some people see potential in you, and then they want to bring you down. So if you are not careful, they will give you advice that at the end of the day you will lose focus.
Yes,
you will be defocused.
True.
Yeah, and you see the beauty of it is that, you know, the Bible is our compass.
Yeah.
And then I can't really say exactly the verse, but I remember there's a place that talks about you putting your eye on the prize, setting your mind, your focus on the prize. And I think that's what Christianity teaches us. Like, we have a purpose why we are living, and the goal is to make heaven. And because of the way the world is going, that's why Romans says, do not be conformed with the pattern of the world, of this world, because he knows that the pattern of the world is distraction. That's what will make you defocus to achieve that goal. And I love the way that we put it, the illustration we made concerning athletes. That's beautiful. That's wonderful, because you can see an athlete who is willing, you know, to make the difference when it comes to a particular competition, because he knows that he's not participating alone. He knows that other people are coming, other countries are coming, and then that's when you will see flags flying, and everybody wants to fly his flag, you know, at the end of the day, to say, yeah, this one got the gold, this one the bronze, and this one the silver. And then you see them remaining focused. And I take example with the people that run on the track. You understand? You mentioned playing by the rule. You see them, there's a gun, there's a place that you start the running, and then on your mark, that means they are already, you know, get set, and then they gone. Once you go against any of this, they penalize you.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
They drop you from even the competition. But you will see that joy, and you will see them maintaining that track
Their lanes.
the lanes, you know, and you see them concentrating. Why? Because the Bible uses that as an example for us to see. That is worldly things, earthly things. That's how we do things. And you can see how people are focused with just these things that are perishable. And he said, the goal is to make heaven. So if you can be focused on things of the world that can be perishable, I think you should be more focused on the things that are heavily, you know, and if you look at it, you mentioned something about the power of being focused. That's regardless, because like I said in Romans, in the book of Romans, the Bible says we should not conform to the pattern of this world, and he encourages us to remain focused on the goal, on the prize. That is the most important thing. And knowing that there is going to be distraction, you know, as we journey this life of Christianity, targeting heaven, definitely there will be distraction. And that is why you will see people coming with different kind of suggestion. And I love the way you said, even people that you are going to meet for advice, you have to be very careful. You understand, people you meet and then you ask for advice. That's when all sort of advice will come your way. That is when all sort of suggestions will come your way. That is when people will tell you what you are doing. You don't even know what you are doing, because as far as they are concerned, you are wasting your time. As far as they are concerned, nothing good.
It will take you nowhere.
It will take you nowhere, you know. And the Bible is encouraging us that in whatever we do in this life, we should be focused, and we should be mindful that our journey doesn't end here, and we should do everything possible to make impact. That drives us to what we are doing in life as Christians. Like for instance, the broadcast industry, and then our own catchment area. That's religious, right? We are focused. We have a goal. We have a target. And that is why we are concentrating strictly on the goals, the objective. And we are focusing on that. And the target is to evangelize, to preach the gospel, to let people know, so that they will have that power that changes, that sets the captives free, that power that gives you salvation, that power that gives you internal joy and peace, that power that will set you apart from the way the world organizes herself, you know, the way you will stand out from the world. And I think it is very, very important, like we all said, you know, the power of being focused. It is good for us to be deliberate about, because the people now that are capturing us, we are using camera as an example. There are objects behind us. If they are not being deliberate about us to get a clear picture, the images behind us, they can decide to get clearer picture there, while they will make us blur.
Distractions.
you understand?
Yes.
And while the focus is us, you understand? So these things we just have to be deliberate about. We just have to be intentional about. Who are you? What is your purpose? What do you want to achieve? If you are a worker, if you are a businessman, what exactly do you want to achieve? If you are a family person, how do you want your family to look like? What kind of family do you want to bring up? Is it the family that will represent the values set by the Bible, that is worthy of our calling? Or what kind of impact do you want to make in your working place? Then you have to be deliberate. Who do I want to be? That excellent presenter? How do I achieve it? What is the process? Now we are talking the rule. Then you have to be focused and say, there is a rule that is guiding broadcasting, and I have to play the game by the rule, and I want to get to the top. That means you are focused, you are intentional, because you know exactly what you want. I think where we get it wrong is that we don't know who we are, and we don't know the reason why we exist. And sometimes we just live our life just like that, the way it comes. So you find out any small thing will just distract us.
You
and we lose focus.
Yeah, very true. And you see, we always talk about knowing who you are, finding your identity. You see, focus in life without you actually knowing your identity is not focus, because you would be focused on all the wrong things. But you see, when you know your identity, you know, this is what I stand for and this is how I should live my life. These are my priorities. This is what I want to accomplish. Then it is easy for you to stay focused. That's why you hear people saying, if you want to be focused in life, if you want to have focus and direction, you need to do this. First of all, you need to plan out your life. And when you say plan out of your life, is sometimes it's just a rough sketch. Okay, so this is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. These are my goals, my short-term goals, my long-term goals. And to be able to get those things, I'm like, okay, so these are my short-term goals and these are my long-term goals. How do I get to those goals? It has to be step by step, one step after the other. How do I keep focus, not to be distracted? You have to take out, okay, what easily distracts me. Let me, as much as possible, cut them out of my life so that I would be able to stay focused. And you find people doing things like, oh, this friend of mine, no, this friendship is not working anymore, so let's just drop it aside. Or you find somebody saying, I'm tired of this relationship. This relationship is not heading the direction that I have seen my life to. I need more focus in my life. Then you see this person drops this relationship. And this relationship I'm talking about, sometimes even family members. You find people cutting off family members because their focus is on a different path from what the family has taken already. So focus is a whole large thing. At the end of the day, you find that a lot, in fact, majority of the people that are successful in the context of the world, you find that it was focus and determination that kept them going. Because, okay, so this is what I want to do. At that moment, some of them started out in a garage. You hear very funny stories, and people begin to ask them, why? How comes you still kept on going? He said, I had a focus. I had a goal. Those are the answers you hear. That's the power of focus goals. Because the moment that you have this focus, you've pictured it, and you want to see it being accomplished, you give it your all. That's where determination comes in. So focus is a very, very important thing that in life we all have. In fact, interestingly, I find that the Bible spoke about focus from the beginning to the end. It's really interesting because it doesn't use the word be focused, no, but it to tell you things like be careful, pay attention, listen to my advice. All these things are geared towards you being focused on one being, God the Father. Yes, be courageous. All those things. He kept on telling us these promises from the beginning of Genesis to the last chapter and the last verse of Revelation. You find in the journey of Jesus Christ, he kept on talking about focus in very funny and interesting ways. One of such is that he said, when he went to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane before his crucifixion, he said something like, watch and pray. That's stay focused, people.
See to it that no one holds you captive.
It was just very interesting. Watch and pray. Simple words. But that's focus. He said, in the middle of a storm, he said, O ye of little faith. Focus. There are just a lot of things that he said. You would not directly connect it to focus, but people of God, he said, be focused on God. In more ways than none. In his actions, he kept on emphasizing those things. In his words, he emphasized the same thing. Even when he said, a time is coming that the children of God will worship him in spirit and truth. it was all about focus. Be focused on this being, because he's the ultimate and he's the reason why each and every one of you breathe. That's what he basically said throughout his journey.
Ministry.
And Paul took after it. Paul kept on saying, fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of your faith. He also said something like, that he has fought the good fight. He has run the race. That was all about focus. Okay, so I was focused. I want you to focus as well, because he later on said, follow in my steps. Be imitators of me as I'm imitator of Christ. That's all about focus. You have a direction. This is what I want to do, and I need to put my attention towards it. I need to give it my all. And then you go all out to make sure that you accomplish that thing. That's what focus is. That's the power of focus. That's what made the ministry of Jesus Christ solid. He had focus. He already knew what he came to do, and he worked in every way possible to reach that goal. That's what made Stephen blossom, because he had focus. Regardless what the Jewish leaders were saying at that time, Stephen did not relent. He kept on going forward, and that's why they killed him. Same thing happened to Peter. That's why Peter could be resilient and preach to his fellow Jews. I don't know if you understand how stubborn the Jew can be, but he preached to the Jews, and he had a lot of people following him. Focus.
And in being focused, you would definitely face challenges. Focus is on the positive side, and if anything is positive, there are forces that tend to see that thing doesn't happen. So you would face challenges like distraction. Distraction can be a challenge to your focus. See an example of a hunter. If a hunter wants to kill an animal, he has to go there and wait and wait. He can't just go to the bush and then kill the animal one time.
And just start shooting.
Yes, he can't start shooting because they will all fly away. So he would go there, settle down, the focus, the gun and everything. Sometimes
Aim
the
the
animal
target.
will go around doing his thing. He will just keep focusing. He's waiting for a time. So imagine
To
a
pull
bird
the
just
trigger.
comes and start flying.
When the
He will
animal-
lose his focus because he will start jumping around. Maybe bees come around. They would make him lose his focus. So in focusing, there will be distraction. So if you want to be a focused person, you should also calculate challenges, distractions, and many other things, and know how to navigate around them to pull through and get to your goal at the end of the day. There will be distraction. When the distraction come, you won't start lamenting and crying and say, oh, I didn't know this will come. Now I can't be focused. No. As you are planning to be focused, plan alongside with all these other things, so that when they eventually come, it will not be a new thing for you. It will not be a new story for you. You would have planned it and have a solution, a backup plan for that, so that you don't sit down and say, well, at a point I wanted to be focused, but this happened. You're giving people excuses as to why you are not being focused. That shouldn't be. So you should not even multitask in being focused. You want to be focused here, you want to be focused here, you want to be everywhere you want. No, just pick one and do it
And master it.
Once you are done with this, then you move to the next one. So you don't multitask in being focused. Just pick one and stick to it. And then also know that challenges will come your way, and plan for them, prepare for them, pray and ask God for the grace to be able to overcome those challenges. Those challenges should not be excuses for you not to be focused. Yes.
Well, to add to what you said, so that people that are talented, or rather gifted, in multitasking, will not feel like you are attacking them. I feel some people are gifted, are talented, but you have to know.
Yes, you have to know yourself.
Yes, that's the
what
reason
you
why
can do.
earlier we
I was
said
going to
you
say-
have to know who you are.
Yes.
You have to
And
define
I also
who you are.
wanted
You
to
have
add
that
this.
strength, fine and good.
Yes.
You can multitask.
If you
and
don't,
you
you can
achieve
just
results.
pick one
Mostly,
at a time. But
when
if you
you can
can
say-
why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Yes.
When you say somebody can multitask, most of the times is that you are working towards one direction. You can't multitask on two different directions. It's not possible.
That's
So
true.
even if you want to multitask, know it that it has to be in one direction. Let it be that maybe I'm doing this and I'm doing this at the same time, but the goal is this at the end of the day.
Like for instance, we can make example of the kind of job we do. You write script, you present, you do, but still the aim is at the end.
You have to finish one, and then
you bring out a picture out there, of the script you wrote, and I feel like Prudence said, it is very important. So don't tell us you are multitasking. Today you are in mechanic, tomorrow you are carpentry, next tomorrow you are weaving.
tailoring.
Yeah, you tell us that you are multitasking. I'm assuring you will not get it, because the end result is going to be master of none.
I was going to say
Jack
you
of
just
all
got jack
trades,
of all
master
trades
of
and
none.
master of
I
none.
don't want to say that.
No, that's what you will be, jack of all trades and master of none.
And you also have to assess yourself as well. I don't think anyone knows you more than you know yourself. So you know yourself best. You know what you can do. You know how you can make yourself better. So you assess yourself in focusing. You don't pick what you know that is totally impossible. You pick something you know you can work with. Something you know when you stretch yourself to this extent, you can achieve this. But you know certain things that is a no-no for you. So when you assess yourself, you know the kind of things you need to pick and focus on, and then they give you more power as
And you
focus.
talk about challenges, on your way going to whatever target you have. And I think that's the reason why the Bible encourages us, based on what you've been mentioning about being courageous. Yeah, because he knows that these challenges will come, and he's telling you, be courageous, face them, navigate through them. And then the beauty of it, he said, he is going to be with us till the end of time.
Even when the challenges come, he will be there.
He will be there. So that's just the beauty of Christianity. The Bible, like we rightly said, it gives us a compass, on how to navigate. Because when you talk about focus, definitely you have to talk about direction. So is everything, and as a Christian, whatever you do, it is very important to know that you have to drive your focus on the Word of God.
Yes.
Because knowing the Word of God, not just knowing it, but understanding it and acting it, it will guide you in whatever you are being focused on that you want to achieve. Because yes, we are Christians. Some are lawyers, some are teachers, some, name them. Name them. So it's been expected that this Word of God will guide every profession you choose, to any path you choose to take, in regarding profession. And then you are expected as a doctor, you are representing Christ. So you have to know the Word, and you have to use the Word to navigate your profession. And that's when, if you are a nurse, for instance, you are working in a hospital that not everybody is a Christian. And even your colleagues and people that will come as patients, not everybody is a Christian. You are expected to show certain character that will portray your belief, that you portray your calling, in wherever you are working. And you are expected to be deeply rooted in the Word of God and to understand what the Bible says concerning focus. Because there's this mindset that people will say, no, I'm a teacher, I'm not a pastor.
That's just living in delusion. Because the thing is that you don't even know exactly why you profess to be a Christian in the first place. Because the moment you profess to be a Christian, you have become a missionary.
We just have different pulpits.
Yes.
It's not all of us that have a church and members. Your workplace can be your pulpit.
Yeah. So basically, that should have been your focus. When we're talking about you having focused, you need to have, if I want to be focused, for instance, on this cup, it has to be the cup and not any other thing around the cup.
Around the cup.
It has to be about the cup. So if as a Christian, I want to be focused about something, it has to be about God. That is the standard.
The cross.
If I'm not focused about God, Jesus Christ, basically everything that he did so that I would be redeemed and have the freedom that I claim to have right now, if I'm not focused on them, then I've lost it. There's nothing to focus on again. It's like this. You have to keep your mind on this thing, your eyes on this thing. Why would he say keep your eyes on the prize? Why would the Bible say things like that? If he did not mean that you should put your attention solely on him. See, what we always fail to do, and we also apply it in our lives as well, is that we claim that we have focus, but there is no solidifying item or person or thing that we are focused on. So you have lost the subject matter. So how would you focus on what is not there?
True.
Our subject matter as Christians is God, so our focus is on God. He takes the center stage. Every other thing that we are doing revolves and works around him. It's all about him. But you see, the moment we start giving excuses, then it's no longer about him. So as a Christian, you've lost it. Now, let me talk about our lives. I keep on talking about this, but out of experience, honestly, focus is a hard thing. You feel faint a lot of times. Okay, so I've pictured a lot of times when you have a project ahead of you and you're so focused on accomplishing that project, and then at some point you just get tired and you begin to wonder, why exactly am I even doing this thing? It happens. That's what happens with focus. You get to a point in time that you ask yourself things like, why exactly am I doing this? Why do I have to struggle to do this thing? But you see what focus
and
does.
maybe you are not seeing the result coming the way you expect.
Yes. And what focus does to you, especially if you already have a subject matter that you are paying attention to, it reminds you of the importance of your subject matter. That's why when I'm going to go back to the Bible now, even when Jesus felt faint on his way to the cross, where he was praying before he came back to tell his disciples to watch and pray, he prayed and said, if it was his will, let this cup be taken. But not his will, but God's will be done. That's because at that moment he felt a little bit faint. It felt like, can I even do this anymore? Then he remembered the importance.
The focus is not on him.
Yes.
Who sent him.
Yes. So he said, okay, because this is the subject matter, it has to be about the subject matter, not about me. That's how we should approach your life as well. If your work is the subject matter for you, for instance, you put your attention, and although as a Christian, your work is just the side craft. That's a very interesting one. Your work is a side craft for you as a Christian, because the first thing you work towards, your deeds towards God, your heart towards God, and
because if your focus is on God, then everything about God reflects your work.
Yes. So basically, you find that you are doing your work in the way that you would serve the Lord. That's how you should live your life.
But a lot of people have neglected that, and they just pick their work and then say, I'm too busy, I don't have time. They don't understand that it should be God first, then your work. But they pick their work, and then whatever available time they have, then probably God. And it shouldn't be like that. Yes, it shouldn't be like that. And in being focused as well, it's okay to be tired. It's okay to feel like you cannot continue. And when you feel that, it's okay to take a break, but then not to give up. You can take a break, and in taking the break, you're refreshing yourself. You're coming back stronger. So when you take that break, it doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you've given up. But it's when you don't come back that it now means that you have given up. But when you take a break, you refresh yourself, build yourself back, and bounce back stronger to even do more than you thought you would do initially.
A songwriter actually presented it this way. He said, don't give up. It's not over. But when you give up,
Then
Yeah,
it's
it is
over.
Yeah.
so it's just, that's just it.
Mm.
When you give up, that's when it is over.
Mhm.
So long as you're still on the track, you're still thriving, you're still pushing hard,
Mm.
you're still on the track.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Mm.
You'll find that we already established this illustration in the beginning, the athlete. You would find that an athlete would fall on the track.
Mm.
He's faint, right?
Mm.
If you fall on the track, he's still not disqualified.
Mm.
The moment that athlete leaves the track is when he or she is disqualified.
Yes.
But so long as you're still on the track and you're ready to stand up and finish the race, and I found this very interesting. There was this race that I watched one time, and this person literally stopped halfway, stopped, and everybody's like, run, 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 run. And the guy just stood. He stood, he took a breath, relaxed before he continued again. This was like, I literally saw this, and it was funny that everybody was like, guy, did you have to stop on the track? But at the end of the day, he was not disqualified till every other person, the race did not finish till he crossed the finish line. That was when everybody said, okay, so the race is finally finished. So we waited for him to finish his race. My point is that till you finish, till you've reached your goal, so long as you're still on track, you can be faint.
It is not over until it is over.
And one thing that I learned from this illustration is that we are not finishing at the same time.
True.
So you should know that.
Yes.
Wow. Honestly, I picked a lot from our discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's the much we can take, because the time is really waving us. Emmanuel. Burger. That's much we can take. Thank you for doing this with me today.
Thank you.
And our viewer out there, we sincerely appreciate you for keeping a date with us. Please, let's do this tomorrow. And remember, the power of being focused is that there's no limit what you can do. So let's just keep pushing. Let's just remain focused, because the target is heaven. God bless us all, and remain kind to one another. Bye-bye.